Hi, well, in this short video I'm going to talk a little bit about equipment, but for anyone with a serious impairment, I think you're going to need to be resourceful and creative. So I invested in a simple piece of non-stick mat, and the first thing that happens is I put the mat on my legs, holds the guitar relatively straight. It was difficult to find a position where the guitar was balanced. It wants to tip that way, or it might want to tip that way. And simple thing to do, I placed this end on a table on top of a cushion, just to stop it rocking around. The other big thing, of course, is we're using fingers and hands to play this instrument. I developed this tube which was originally metal, and I place it on my forefinger, and I have a few here of different weights for different reasons. And for me that's great in working its way around the fingerboard. You know, I've spent years developing that technique. One of the other devices I've designed and made for people who find the bottleneck uncomfortable is this piece of bent metal here, which it's got a nice padding inside and will fit around the edge of your hand. And this works just by going on top of the strings in this way. Now this isn't something I use or something I play with. And finally, this is a conversion using the regular bar that's used for playing the slide guitar, and that is this solid piece of metal here with a combination of a strap and a handle. This has been made to attach to the strings as so. So with the hand that strums the guitar or picks the guitar, how do we get around this issue of not being able to hold fingers rigid or being able to move them? By straightening the elbow, you actually do the same job as you would if you were to strum the guitar. If you draw them across the guitar, outward and inward, the guitar is user-friendly enough to enable you to make a decent sound. It may not be loud, but I'm able to pick strings with my thumb, and I found my fingers are rigid enough for me to be able to draw them back with a bit of strength and to work outwards using my wrist. And I've found that either with a plectrum inserted in one of these things, or indeed just one of these, it's a basic wrist splint, it's also good to point out that if you live a life with a hand disability, it's good to have great teeth. A wrist splint will hold your wrist upright and hold it flat. Even in me, this gives me a bit more power should I need it. Something I also discovered very early on was that by using regular supplied finger picks and thumb picks, I was able to pick out individual strings. A finger pick is a straightforward guitar playing device. It will stick down an awful lot further enabling you to pick out individual strings. I've also come across this little trick where I'm able to pick 2 strings. This is probably slightly advanced, but well, why not? We've all got this journey, haven't we? This is a thumb pick which has been twisted and turned in several ways so that when I straighten my elbow, normally my thumb would go across the strings in a diagonal direction. And it has very little power. You can probably tell there it does nothing. The tongue of the pick has been twisted, so the tongue goes across the string in a diagonal way. So as I do that, that noise comes out. I've also discovered that I can play backwards with these, so I can draw my hand. So in terms of aids and adaptations with these types of things, again, they'll be in your pack. And the tuners, there's no real excuse for just getting on there and enjoying making some music.